Perfect.
Hey. Hi, Amit. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of A Little Late in Crypto. It's Thursday evening, the 30th of December, 2021. I missed last night's NFT episode to help cover the launch of a new GameFi project. Yesterday, the Dpad panel covered what an NFT is, how to create one, how to sell them, how to mint one, and which platforms are best for the buying and selling. They also talked about whether or not there's any profit in hodling NFTs. Have a listen to learn more. Tonight, we are going to learn more about Dpad, the team, the platform, what makes it so special, and the concept behind all of it. I'll ask the team a host of questions, ranging from how the concept was born, to their take on VCs, how they're building their team, and their latest development updates. If you like learning about crypto, subscribe to the Dpad channel, show us some love by giving this broadcast a thumbs up, and please leave your questions in the comments for live answers later in the show. Let's get started with A Little Late in Crypto. So, guys, everybody wants to know, how was Dpad conceptualized?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Pluto.
Hi,
Pluto from Dpad. So today I'm here to answer all the questions about Dpad and our journey in 2021.
So excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too, and the whole team is excited to share our information about the journey. It's been around 5 to 6 months now, so we have spent half of this year around building this project. So shall I start with the first question?
Yes. How was Dpad conceptualized?
Okay. So myself and a few of other teammates in Dpad, we used to participate in different IDOs. Before that, we have been participating in ICOs from 2017. Then we had even participated in these IEOs, STOs. Then this year we had been participating in IDOs. So slowly this launchpad platforms started gaining momentum this year itself. We used to participate on Starter. Earlier it was called BSC Starter. So then this Polka Starter. While participating, it was very much clear that all these platforms were just like an infrastructure projects. They didn't have any kind of user-friendly features. They were just like a website put there, and just projects are getting listed and people are investing. There was no care for user experience, and even the infrastructure, even the websites, they were not performing well. Like their only use case was when there was the IDO, the people used to invest. So that was their only use case. Suppose at 8 p.m. there's an IDO, then all the IDO investors will open that website at 8 p.m. and they'll try to invest in the project. After 8 p.m. there is no use case of that website. So this was a very simple use case, but those platforms were not even successful in providing smooth streamlined process in this simple thing. Like whenever there was time, whenever the timing came for IDOs, then a lot of people used to reach out to the website to participate all at once. So not only in 3 out of 5, but 5 out of 5 times the website used to get stuck every time.
Oh, those traffic spikes are killer.
Yes. Yeah. So every time the website used to get stuck. So everyone was facing this issue. Every time all the community members used to go on their Telegram and start bombarding the questions. And this was how it was going on, this whole IDO investments. So everyone knew the pain, the user side and the crypto founder side, they all knew the pain point. But there was no one, it seemed that there is no one to solve this, because few passionate people who have built those launchpad platforms, they have done their part in providing a platform, in providing an infrastructure, and it seemed like good user interface and managing a platform very well was not their main forte, I guess. Therefore, the simple problems were not being solved. Then once few people who are in Dpad right now, we did some research and tried to find out that how can this issue be there, how many people are trying to reach out to the website, how many people are trying to load the website during IDO, and so that causes these websites to go overloaded. We tried to research, and then we found out that there are no more than approx 20 to 30,000 IDO investors.
That's
active
it?
IDO investors, yeah. And in any IDO, maximum 5,000 to maximum 10,000 IDO investors would be participating. Maximum, if you take the most hyped project, then maximum 10,000 IDO investors would be participating on a single IDO platform. So this was the thing that we found out during our research. So we were very much surprised that only with a traffic of 2,000 to 10,000, these websites are not able to balance the load. They are not able to entertain only this much users. Whereas in software industry, you can see a lot of platforms are there these days. Means 10,000 simultaneous users is nothing in today's date.
Yes, that seems lazy.
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing? Using like GoDaddy to host?
Probably everyone is using GoDaddy and AWS. So they didn't have those infrastructure guys, I guess. They didn't have what we figured out is that all these existing launchpad platforms, although they had been started by some passionate guys, no doubt. Those guys are passionate. They are passionate about crypto industry, this blockchain ecosystem. They wanted to contribute to this ecosystem as well, but somehow they didn't have proper team that can manage all the aspects of running a website or a web app, and they hadn't been able to collect. I think they even didn't know all these aspects.
There are a lot of aspects to it.
Yeah, that's right. So like user friendliness means at a point it happened so that the users, they used to say, forget user experience. We don't need good user experience. We just need the website to work when we need it. So with this very simple pain point, and also we used to see here that these launchpad platforms, they used to write this incubation, will provide incubator support to crypto startups and crypto founders. Everyone used to write, they are still writing it, but we didn't find this incubation support to be enough as it should be, because in our traditional field, traditional startup ecosystem, we see that what are good incubators, how an incubator becomes good. Like we take example of Y Combinator or even Techstars. Why are they good? Why are they so good? Why are they so famous? Why are they so impactful? So the main reason behind their success is their alumni network, because all other feature services can be provided by anyone, but building an environment of alumni, successful and less successful both, building an environment of alumni is the most important thing for an incubator. And when we try to see that what the current launchpad platforms, how are they performing in this work, like how are they trying to create the alumni network, they were lagging behind. So looking at these basic problems, and coincidentally the people currently at Dpad, we collectively had experience of running web apps, then this incubation, startups exposure. So it was a coincidence that we all landed up on this concept to start a launchpad platform.
Oh, so you guys have a technical background then. So you're using these websites as a consumer and you're getting frustrated, and none of these platforms are addressing the issues. They don't really seem like UX is a issue. They kind of treat it as an afterthought, like the website's there, be grateful type of attitude. And then their incubation services are also not sufficient. So you identified two major issues that everybody's kind of feeling on these platforms. And now, so tell me about the team. Who is behind Dpad?
Okay.
Really, if you don't mind, could we probably from the panel can ask some question like in between, so that we know more about Dpad. It would be really interesting because like we might invest, and at least I have invested a bit in Dpad, and like as like a speaker I usually get some tokens. So definitely I would be more willing to know more about the Dpad and like the ideology. I really love that, like you are hosting so much and focusing so much particularly on the research part. And right now I'm listening about like how the ideation part came about, how about the UI UX and whatever we are talking about right now. So if you don't mind, could we probably ask, and probably some of the other panel members can ask the question?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah, so it would be really interesting if you just like I have personally experienced so much things, like I have participated in more than 20 plus launch pads, so I know like in and outs, mostly like what happens, where they lack, what contract issues. So how do you exactly solve for each and like whatever your users will be like? I know, so I don't feel a problem like even tackling with say starter is giving so much issue, or even sometimes like BSC launch you couldn't even open the pool. It will always so you can't do anything. So sometimes uh, you used to get like pre-approved or something. For like many other platforms you see it as like they really struggle in showing real allocation. Sometimes they have a struggle with like contract issues. Sometimes they struggle with like you never know like the sale is done and you are even still figuring it out, like yeah, whether there is any allocation left or not, because on a smart contract it may take some times and sometimes it delays. So you never know how, and sometimes we even see the bot is kind of like attacking it, and bot is even like taking all the allocations. I, as a first come first serve, like even participating in so many launch pads, sometimes I miss first come first serve. So I really doubt sometimes. Yeah, definitely not everyone, uh, not every human is able to grab, and at least who have good take is able to grab the allocation. So it more kind of like either team is taking it or somewhat kind of misallocation. Maybe the bot is taking maximum of the allocation in the first come first serve part, if that is there in Dpad. So it would be really great to know like whether the focus is
Yeah, I'm very much
like
thankful to
these
you, Trading
things
Star.
where
Yeah, Trading Star, I'm thankful to you for these questions. And these were the questions. These were the issues, fundamental issues that that these existing idea investors were facing. They are still facing. Still, I don't think most of the launchpad platforms have been able to solve these issues. Like, can't open the pool. And the idea is there, you can't open the pool. Even this starter has provided alternative domain, alternative URL called, I think, bsc.investments. Because of this issue, that during this IDO, when you go to the main website starter.xyz, then your pool won't open. It just keeps on loading. So to cope up with this, what Starter has done, they have just created an alternative domain and shifted a mirror copy of their website to that domain. But unfortunately, what happens that the mirror website also fails in loading the pool. So this is a very fundamental problem which pisses off the users, and the users are actually still attached because they don't have any alternative. The simple fact is that if someone comes up with an alternative with and so with a solution to these problems, then no one will get stuck to those platforms. So our first goal is just to solve all these fundamental issues rather than bringing new things. We have some new things in the pipeline. We have new things in our roadmap, but we don't want to talk over those features first. Our main goal is to solve these fundamental issues, like you can't open pool, whereas there should be no problem in for 5,000 people to open pool at once on a launchpad platform, and we will guarantee this on Dpad. You won't have any problem in loading pool. Second thing is the websites are not responsive. Like whenever the pool starts, whenever the timing starts, then the responsiveness, the website, actually the latency is very high. They are failing in providing low latency. Therefore, you can see that out of 100%, if you see only 50% has been filled on the website, but in fact 100% is filled, then what happens? You are still trying by looking at only 50% has been filled in a pool. Then you lost your gas fees. If it is on Ethereum, then you'll just lose your gas fee because the pool has already been filled. So this responsiveness needs to be solved. Real data needs to be shown at every time. This 10,000 users are nothing actually simultaneously. Then even this information, that even the first come first serve users, they don't hope, they don't expect any certainty in their allocation. They just leave everything to the god or to Satoshi Nakamoto, that, oh Satoshi, please help me get FCFS today. So actually there should be some level of certainty to FCFS users. At least they should know that when how much minimum time is there for them. Okay, but right now what happens, if they have 20 seconds to get allocation, then that 20 second actually gets wasted in loading the pool itself. So this once we solve this pool loading problem, then I think FCFS users will be most happy, because this pool loading issue impacts them the most, because all those diamond users, they get some head start time, so they get some allocation there. But FCFS users, they just miss out on everything. They won't get anything because of pool loading. Then after, there are bot issues. So for the bot issues, it is like adaptation. We can't say that we or anyone else, they can solve the bot issues completely at once. Yeah, we may solve the current bot issues, but what happens is that we all are humans. We are building Dpad, but some other technologists, some other good genius minds, they are building bots. So their whole work is to identify the loopholes in the existing softwares, existing web apps, and build something around that loophole. So we can't guarantee that we will solve 100% bot issues at once in Dpad, but yeah, the basic bot issues, or say the existing bot issues which have been identified, those can be solved, and we will try our best to solve those the fastest.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Dpad, you guys take your name from the classic video game controller like Atari had, and then your platform is built to slay the lag monster. Amazing. Carry on. Trading Star, do you have another question?
No, I think if that is being like that is very honest answer. I think personally for particularly for the bot issues. So it's like yeah, definitely like we try to keep figuring out what could be the way to like get our allocation done. Even if we are not bot, we are human, but we like even I sometimes do like find out the contract address of that particular cell to be happening, and somehow if I get it, then I used to get it pre-approved in USDC or CBUSD, and with that, it helps you to like do the direct, I mean, spend transaction rather than being an additional approval transaction. So it somehow saves few extra seconds, and possibly I have hidden like in 11 seconds. So if you give me 11 seconds, I have a fair opportunity to hit in that 11 seconds. But yeah, beyond like 6 seconds, I have not ever been able to participate in one with a like totally with pre-approved and everything. I have done that, but yeah, with without that, I'm pretty sure like with if you give me 12 seconds, I could probably hit into the game. But if you give me like 2 seconds, I don't know how to hit that, because sometimes yeah, definitely pulls even doesn't start, even you don't like see it is getting started, and sometimes you just make clicks, sometimes even MetaMask doesn't pop up. So we have so many things to do. We need not only to click tap one button, but yeah, we need to definitely interact, definitely increase the gas fees and everything we need to do in those 11 to 15 seconds we usually get in very high pool. So definitely that would be great if
Yeah,
we reduce the number of bots. I will not say 100%, but definitely if, like technologies and they are advancing and trying to like find loopholes and come again back as a bot again and trying to participate in the those hyped token sale, then probably
yep. This is Amit here. I have a question. Is there an option where instead of having a race or first come first serve, there can be various way where we can give ample amount of time, so there won't be any kind of, let's say investor get disappointed in case of not just starter, but I can name so many platform even there. Even today also they have to postpone their IDO and giving lame excuse and being a let's say DevOps and technology using. I understand that what kind of challenges they are facing, and the answer are very easy. So going back, very simple question: is there technically as well as economically feasible that we can allocate, let's say, entire one day, and anyone from any time zone with his free time, he will go there, he will understand, okay, being as a, let's say, guaranteed allocation or what other layer fees, he will have his own amount of portion here to pay, and he can do in the next 24 hour at his spare time. He will never have any stress, and the whole process becomes smooth. Maybe agree for first come first serve, there can be different scenario, but let's say for guarantee allocation also, have observed and seen that many other platforms give very small amount of time, which is not needed. So one, is this option can be considered? Second question, within even first come first serve, there can be as Trinisha already mentioned, challenges. Can we have better smooth experience? Can we have fixed time? Can we have maybe let's say not all but many platforms even don't give confirmation about what will be the amount. I had to be ready during that first come first serve allocation or idea. So those kind of basic expectations from any investor, will Dpad will going to address them? This is my question.
Thank you, Amit, for your questions. They are very intriguing questions and real questions from a real investor. So thanks for sharing both of the questions. I'll try to answer both of them. So the first point is that you asked whether we can give a timeline of say 24 hours to investors. They don't need to hurry up all at once. Okay, so this is a completely new kind of expectation that I just got to hear from you. We will definitely think over this thing, over this point, and we will also try to get feedback and discuss more on this topic with our other idea investors in the community. You are also invited there. We can brainstorm over this point, but on top of this point I can only put one issue that is hitting me, is that this IDO, what is the purpose of IDO? So I'll just discuss that once. What is the purpose of IDO? So today IDOs are not the way to just raise funds. The projects that are doing IDOs today, they are not relying on the funds raised in the IDO. You must have seen, if someone is raising 10 million, then they are raising approx 9 million or 9.5 million from private investors and VCs and QLs, and they're just raising a very small amount of funds in IDO. You must have noticed this part. So yes. So the real purpose of IDO is to get an opportunity. The project gets an opportunity to create hype in the community. Okay, because let's say if the project doesn't do IDO, they just raised funds from VCs and KOLs and private investors, then who are going to buy their token in public after listing? No one, because there won't be any hype, there won't be any marketing hype. Even though they can run ads, they can run a lot of ads, but community gathering won't happen. That happens during IDO phase. So this IDO is actually a marketing activity for the projects. Okay, very few projects are there that only requires 200k or 400k funds, and they raise it through solely through Launchpad platforms. But most of the projects who are raising more than a million or 2 or 3 millions, they are raising very small amount from IDOs. So this hype thing, so they are doing this IDO to create a hype. Now you say that IDO investors can have about 24 hours to put their money, but I think that will impact in the hype level. So that is my concern, but anyway, we can discuss over this, right, Amit?
Yeah, just to give one more point. Let's say I'm in Singapore, so my time zone is I've always challenged when there is an IDO around 4 p.m. UTC, or let's say 3 p.m. UTC, which is like after 12 for me. And many of time, you must have observed, or everyone have experienced that the idea never goes smooth. Maybe in very early days, you experience they announce that, okay, we're going to pause or mute the Telegram channel group, and then going to say, oh, we face some issue, technical issue, give us 1 hour, and they just keep postpone. Even they postpone, they say come back to 1 hour back, then suddenly within 30 minutes they announce, say, oh, we just open the pool, and then those who has an impression that, okay, I have to come back after 1 hour, within 30 minutes, if they restart the IDO, they just miss and they just have very bad, experience. So time is, I can say, considering the.
So Amit, I got your
all
this concern.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this we call this professionalism. So this is actually a quality of professionalism, and if some launchpad platforms, they are doing this silly things, like if the IDO was supposed to be started at 8 p.m. UTC, let's say, and at 8 p.m. UTC, when the time has come, then you see there are issues, and then they announce that, okay, we have certain issues. So this is the first failure of professionalism. Then second, the saddest part that I have observed, the saddest part is not that the platform failed at that point, but the saddest part is that after a failure, they don't acknowledge it properly. They give you a time, let's say 2 hours. The IDO will again start at after 2 hours, but I don't know what happens in their backend. Everyone can expect that they would be fixing the bugs, but if the bug got fixed in just 30 minutes, then they don't have professionalism to hold on their words that, okay, we have already announced it that the IDO will start after 2 hours, but they fail to hold on to their words, and they just go and announce that, okay, now we are going to start. So this is just lack of professionalism. I think the management, they are lacking those people who have proper experience in managing professional tasks. But at Dpad, we have experience of managing professional platforms earlier, and we consider these things very important, and we give very much importance to these points. So this won't happen. Then after, for any feature on Dpad, we are open to get feedback from the community every time. Still, right now we haven't fixed our tire system. We haven't fixed our tire system because who were to fix? We ourselves. We didn't want to fix that permanently. So we are still open for that tire system also. How should we make the tires? What should be the basis? And for other points also, like your second question was to do something for FCFS users. So definitely we see the what we have found in our experience is that first come first serve users lack in getting allocation. The main problem is the website loading part. So once Dpad will solve this issue in the community, then I think FCFS users main problem will be solved. But even after that, if FCFS users on Dpad will face in getting proper allocations or certainty in getting allocations, then we'll definitely do some more steps. We'll take some actions.
All right. Does any of the other panel members have any direct questions they'd like to ask?
No, I think I will continue. Like, we have so many questions to cover up.
Ah, we have too many. We have to skip us now. Having clear information like how much allocation investors can expect. Better to use stable coins. Oh, nice. Okay. We were talking about Dpad, and you mentioned that you guys are app programmers. Tell me a little bit more about who's working behind the scenes at Dpad.
Yeah, sure. So I'll tell you individually about the people who are behind Dpad. So first of all, we have our CEO. He is actually a lawyer. He is an advocate, and he has been advocating in traditional cases also, and then he has experience in this blockchain cases also, blockchain industry. Then he has been in crypto since 2015, and he has participated, built, and invested in crypto projects and non-crypto projects too. So he has experience in e-commerce industry, then healthcare industry, and crypto industry. Then after we have our chief economist, Cookie Trader, who is a pro idea investor. He is actually one of the top quality idea investors available in the idea industry. So he manages the tokenomics part. He has experience in crypto for around 4 years. So he manages the tokenomics, then the real features that the real investors are facing. So he manages that. Then he manages communication with idea investors. Then he is supposed to think about good features that can help and ease the life of idea investors. Like he has suggested some very cool features that will be for portfolio management, for the management of idea investments. Then he manages all the finance part in Dpad, and he's an engineer. Then after, we have a relationship manager. He is responsible for partnerships with B2B companies, with influencers. He is responsible for investor relations. He has been in crypto industry for around 5 years now, and before that he used to work in some hotel management company. Like he used to work in hospitality industry. So he has a total of around 8 years experience, and he manages all kind of partnerships for Dpad. And also he will be responsible for maintaining the Dpad's trade volume, then Dpad's listing on different exchanges, the partnership with corporates, and also he is looking for onboarding new projects on Dpad for IDOs. Then after, we have our design lead, Jarvis. He is responsible for all the graphics that are available on and around Dpad, our website, our social media, our YouTube channel. So whatever graphics you can see are all done by or under Jarvis. So he is a graphic expert, video editor, visual artist. Then he also does some social media activities for Dpad, but that is not his core forte. His core forte is graphic designing. So also, okay, so since we are live now, we will I can ask to our audience and speakers to suggest any kind of innovative graphics that you might have seen anywhere, or you expect that Dpad should present that innovative graphics. Dpad should provide some innovative graphics, maybe VFX, 3D, metaverse kind of thing, anything. If you will ask, then I'm sure that our designer Jarvis will be happy, and he'll give that kind of design to us. Then after, we have a team of 5 people for our software development. So it includes 1 blockchain developer, 2 blockchain developers actually, front-end developer, UI UX designers. Then we hiring one infrastructure engineer. Currently, we are in hiring phase, so we already have a backup infrastructure engineer, but we are also looking for one more. Then after, we have Dpad Army. So currently 2 members are working full-time in Dpad Army, and we have means the hiring is open for Dpad Army also. We can accommodate more 5 to 6 people in Dpad Army. Their role is to keep the hype around Dpad active on different social medias, to be available everywhere, to keep their eyes open around opportunities for Dpad, to see what is happening in crypto industry, and bring those opportunities to Dpad and for Dpad community. Even they are always available. Okay, so Amit is saying he can be part-time DevOps engineer for Dpad. Appreciate that, Amit. I hope we can talk about that after the show. So we have this Dpad Army. Then after, we are also hiring for few roles. We are hiring for few roles that have been listed already on Angel List, or the roles that haven't been listed there, we'll be listing there on Angel List. So our public hiring will be visible there, and we'll also put it in our social medias, and we may mention it on our website also about what roles are we hiring now. So overall, we have one lawyer with blockchain experiences. Then we have around 6 engineers, 2 developers, 1 UI designer, and few other people. Then after, we also have our host, and then we have our writer who writes awesome stuff for us. All right, so this is the structure of our team right now.
Can I suggest a simple design?
Yeah, sure.
Having a metaverse or 3D or 2D is a different vision, but having simple, easy to load, easy to navigate is very important, considering that there can be a couple of different audience. Major can be a newbies who might be attracted to your community because of the way you are trying to educate and try to explain, the market, the scenario, various idea platform. So I will be very happy. I will be expecting a lot of newbies coming to Dpad, and then there can be some veteran like Trader Star and like me who will be enjoying one of the we already have maybe 5 or 10 plus idea platform, and this is plus one kind of thing. But that newbies looking for simple design first. Second, it should be very clear that okay, today 30th of December at exactly 9 p.m., which is Singapore time, or maybe it can be 1 p.m. UTC, and there can be a notification. There can be a calendar, Google Calendar kind of thing, which we can just follow. 15 minute, 10 minute, and 5 minutes before we get notification, so we can do the needful things. And also there can be option for vesting, listing. So having an announcement channel is always great. Having a Twitter with appropriate information is always great. But there can be ways where we can use a technology to push or notify, saying that okay, this idea we can expect next 1 hour or next 15 minutes. And for that, you don't have to do too much coding. Just Google Calendar is very simple. You just update there. You can ask user to just follow this particular file or this particular URL. The moment they click, having Google, Yahoo, or maybe Apple Calendar, it can just import, and they will never miss any opportunity. So very simple design, very simple GUI, but very useful feature will add great value.
Wow, super recommendation from you, Amit. Okay, there was a slight confusion while asking for those innovative graphics. Those were for graphic posters and banners, but in the UI context, we are also following the simple minimalist design, also that you came up, you suggested. And this notification thing is really very great one. We were already thinking of integrating EP-NS, Ethereum Push Notification System, which will be a decentralized notification system. But this Google Calendar integration is a super recommendation. Thank you, Amit.
Got a couple of questions in from the audience that kind of tie into talking about Dpad and what you guys are doing. Do the token holders have the right to participate in governance of the project? And what kind of decisions can they vote on if they are able to participate?
Yes. So Dpad will be slowly shifted to a DAO. Then any kind of features or changes, like how many tokens should be staked, what are the criteria for different tiers, what are the criteria for getting allocations, what features should be developed first, what should be developed next, what should be included in the roadmap, quarterly roadmap. Then after, which type of projects should be considered in our incubation program. So all these kind of decisions, all the decisions that can impact, that can have a considerable impact on the platform or in the Dpad ecosystem, will be taken through this DAO governance. And Dpad team, the people behind Dpad, they'll be only responsible to think those points which are simple, like bug fixes, then patches. For these points, we won't go to the public DAO. These are the things that won't impact much, but all those impactful points will be taken from community governance, and those will be voted by the Dpad holders.
Okay. And are you working to audit your project to make it more secure, trustworthy, and reliable?
Yeah. So auditing software is as important as building software. This is what we think at Dpad. An audit is as much important as much is the building of it. So definitely we are going to have not only one audit but multiple audits. And since Dpad is a launchpad where a lot of projects will get listed and they will themselves require audits, therefore Dpad is going to have exclusive partnership with some audit firms, like for example Certic, Hacken, Quillhash, all this. So Dpad will have partnership with maybe 3 to 5 auditing companies.
Right. That way you can direct people on the right ones to go to.
Yes,
it's
yes.
important.
And also mentioning here one point, that since the auditing is quite expensive also, good auditing is quite expensive. So if the projects get selected in the incubation program, then their auditing fees will be reimbursed by Dpad.
Right. Okay. Dpad has a rather unique view on venture capitalists in the space. Can you talk a little bit more about how Dpad views raising funds and venture capitalists?
Yes. So this one is a very important point. While being just idea investors, we used to notice that IDOs are a tool. IDOs are a tool for marketing. So if some new project is coming, so they used to raise maximum funds from VCs and private investors, and then just to create market hype, they used to do IDOs. They're still doing the same. So what we thought, actually it was a fact that when let's say a project is selling 42% or close to 40% of their tokens in token sale. So out of 40%, about 35 to 38% tokens used to be sold to these VCs and private investors, who are a handful of people, and then 3 to 4% of that 40% used to be given to these ID investors, and after that comes in a public, after the public listing. So what there is the thing, it is completely like majority of the tokens have gone to few hands. Now you can see the centralization issue in a decentralized cryptocurrency, how this decentralized project converted into a centralized project. Any token, any cryptocurrency, they have their value. This whole industry is growing, or this whole industry has value only because there is a there is a value in decentralization. There was already a centralized system. We already had a centralized structure of finance for throughout our history. Then this Bitcoin came, and it introduced us to a new form of finance, which is decentralized finance. Therefore, and all other tokens are based on the decentralization nature of Bitcoin. So, but what is happening in this IDO field is that the majority of the tokens are held by some handful of people who can act as whales, and the individual investors, the small investors, they are left at the mercy of those whales. We can understand the situation of Bitcoin, Dogecoin, or some other coins, which were started without seeing the future. Like when Bitcoin started, then it was not certain that Bitcoin will last for 10 years or 11 years, and the things were not certain at that time. Therefore, due to the situation, Satoshi somehow got to mine 1 million, more than 1 million Bitcoins. After then, there were many people in early Bitcoin phase in 2010, 2011, 2012 even, like Winklevoss brothers. They somehow managed to hoard a lot of Bitcoin. Then we have this investor, Draper. He bought about 40,000 Bitcoins from auction. So that was a time when Bitcoin got hoarded by a few whales, and they just kept on holding. They didn't sell it. Those were uncertain times. That is why Bitcoin and even Dogecoin has whale, even Shiba Inu has whale. But those were uncertain time, uncertain tokens. Like when Shiba Inu was created, it was not deemed to be that successful, how much it became this year. But these IDO projects, they have more certainty. They have done all this marketing, everything, all the commitments. So they need to have more certainty of the future. And if a token has committed some certainty to investors, then those investors should not be at the mercy of the whales, which were created by the project team itself. Therefore, we didn't like the idea of taking funds from VCs. Although we are not against any crypto VCs or the VC culture, because they have their own importance. But just in the IDO time, in the early phases of crypto, we are against this VC. Okay, yeah, there can be a situation where if a VC really wants to invest in a project, then why not invest after the public listing? They should come after public listing. This happens to traditional startup industry. The VCs, they come when in Series A or Series B round. They don't come in the seed round of the startup. Only angel investors come in the seed round. So we are trying to put the token sale, early token sale to individual investors, to the distributed community of investors, not in the single hands of VCs.
I love that concept. Trading Start, did you want to ask something directly regards to this?
Yeah, so why not like I really like that idea as well, but why not like since the token sell like percentage is limited, why not having multiple VCs or even like multiple private pools or might be private investors. So I can definitely see some funds have been raised. So definitely some people are got like interested, and we have pretty much I think very good time so far. So why not like now having even are you thinking about like going now to the VC now you have given enough time to for public and something like that, or like what exactly is your plan to like complete the sale, reaching the hard cap, reaching the soft cap?
Okay, okay. So first of all, we do not require a lot of funds, as the funds raised by Soul Chicks, about 20 million or something, and all those big projects. Dpad doesn't require that much funds. We require very less funds, which can be contributed by distributed investors, these IDO investors itself. So we are not going to any VCs yet. Then we want to we'll go to the VCs. Definitely we'll go to the VCs, but not before IDO. After IDO, we'll go to the VCs and we'll ask them to take their stakes in Dpad, buy Dpad as much as they can after the public listing. And right now we are focusing on private pools. Yes, private pools are good because they have small investors in it. Then we are also looking for KOLs, because KOLs definitely put more money, they get more allocation, but they also help in building the project. They also help in promoting they contribute as a team member. So KOL can be considered as a team member if the KOL is good one. So we are looking for KOLs and private pools right now, and we'll be looking to VCs after the public listing.
Got your point. Thank you. But just to give you a suggestion, probably you could go to VCs, but don't ask them to buy tokens later on because they were like, I don't give a damn. Like we have so many things to invest. We don't care about it. If you just say like after public sale, you like they can buy, but definitely I think you might be more interested in having collaboration so that the tokens or maybe the future IDOs tokens or which are gonna happening on the launchpad itself. Probably I think that collaboration is uh, much required because VCs has connection as well. So yeah, in that way, I think that is the must for particularly for the VC part. But yeah, definitely if you have like uh, fully devoted to the decentralizing it with name, starting from the name, from fundraising part, I think that's great. I really wish it succeeds, and it's but definitely VCs are key essentials as far I can see right now in the current system, because it's not only requires the fun part, but definitely they have connection, they have some kind of power. uh, I don't know whether it should be given or not, It's like exactly the same question where in some session we have discussion about what's about the monopoly of Binance. Is it really good or is it really bad? I really like decentralization, so I somehow like against the Binance monopoly, but somehow they are actually building good UI, everything, trying to like educate people, uh, reaching to the more hands, probably helping crypto to move to a larger community. So maybe in that way they are like doing good as well. So somewhat like it's a kind of a mid balance, it must, I will say. So yeah, really great, and I hope you all the best
Thank you,
for the
Trading
private
Star.
sale.
Thank you, Trading Star, for your points. There are two sides of all the coins, so we'll also consider your point, and we'll consider it in public voting also and public discussion also. So thank you for your point. We'll keep it noted. So yeah, Ritik.
That was an excellent conversation around and gave us a lot more insight into the Dpad platform and what we have to look forward to. We didn't even get into all of our questions. We got so detailed into all the things that are coming. Exciting stuff, guys. That's another episode of A Little Late in Crypto. We will have one more episode this year, tomorrow night at the same time. And then we will see you again next year. Thanks so much for tuning in to A Little Late in Crypto. This is your host, Riri, signing off.